me in front of everybody? Huh? Come on.
In a recent interview for the release of Gladiator 2, Denzel openly talked about the possibility of his legendary career coming to a close, and if it is true that cinema might be losing one of its biggest stars within the next few decades, I needed to understand what exactly makes Denzel the cinema titan he is.
Either you're somebody, or you're nobody. Be right back.
And with an acting career that now spans over 50 years, there's one thing that sticks out to me: respect. He demands respect when he's on screen with a tone, posture, and delivery that is unique to him. Whether he's playing a crime mob boss or a bitter father, he adds the subtle on-screen touches that help us immerse ourselves in the moment and humanity of the characters. When portraying Frank Lucas in the American gangster film, he is fully aware of the ego-driven nature of someone caught up in this lifestyle. Seemingly bending life to your will creates a nature that perpetuates the belief of untouchableness.
With no Mazzanos ain't got nothing to do with me.
They got everything to do with you.
But they
know why?
Why?
But we see this perception crumble during his interrogation with Officer Richie, played by Russell Crowe. Denzel initially portrays a relaxed demeanor in both his posture and tone as to not show cracks in his self-assuredness.
That's pretty good, but that's why we go to court, isn't it, Richie? Because I got witnesses too. I got celebrities, I got sports figures, I got Harlem, Richie.
As the detective begins picking away at his defense, his character begins to realize the full extent of the situation and the potential for his demise. His voice now grows in grandeur and he begins to threaten the officer.
So it don't mean nothing to me for you to show up tomorrow morning with your head blown off, you understand what I'm saying?
The perceived power and control that he displays throughout the movie can't serve him here, and thus he must cooperate. But given his controlling nature, he returns back to a measured approach in an attempt to salvage his dignity and sense of self.
What can you promise me, Richie?
These subtle changes in body language make you aware of the internal struggle of the character, bringing to life the gravity of a situation and the humanity of even someone as self-assured as Frank Lucas. Movement and mannerism are powerful tools that bring the realism of a character from the pages of a script to life, and very few do it at the level of a Denzel. Take this scene in the third Equalizer film. The character's movements are so measured and meticulous in a scene that moves the plot forward very little, but it is so well aligned with a man who is as surgical with a weapon as Robert McCall. This attention to detail could have only been honed on the stage, where an actor's every movement is open to interpretation.
It's like retooling. The lights come up or the curtain goes up and it's an actor's medium on stage.
Theatre is unique in that it is a one-swing attempt. Every inclusion or exclusion of a character's body language and delivery is subject to the audience. Very little, if anything, goes unnoticed, while film is the perfect moment captured.
You walk out onto that stage and you're ready to tell the whole story. Whereas on film, it requires a certain type of patience.
Film actors often adhere to the principle that less is more. Their delivery is naturally more understated than in theatre. This is because in reality, people are more adjacent to this. They are usually reserved and only express their true emotions openly in extreme situations.
What the hell are you doing in my house if you hate me so much?
In Denzel's case, he leans toward the dramatic in the same understated tone.
En la iglesia dicen que hay que perdonar.
Forgiveness is between them and God. It's my job to arrange the meeting.
This is why Denzel as your lead is a sure bet, as he carries both the preserved demeanor and intimidation of a truly cool action hero.
I promised someone that I love very much that I would never go back to being that person. But for you, I'm going to make an exception.
And even in movies that play more creatively on the action hero tropes, you need someone who can get the point across without actually saying much verbally, but instead in his on-screen aura.
And to the dust we shall return.
He shows incredible restraint in his performances. Take the scene with the Russian gangsters in the Equalizer film. There is a constant tension that continues to mount as the scene progresses. As the boss delivers his monologue, Denzel maintains unbroken eye contact. He doesn't even blink. His only visible reaction is a subtle, skeptical tilt of his head. Yet, as the camera shifts to show each person discreetly readying their weapons, it's clear he's aware of everything happening around him. His composure only falters briefly when it becomes clear the negotiation is over and the other party dismisses him, but this moment doesn't last long. He expresses his range with the same intensity in scenes that require more give. The movie Fences is full of monologues and exchanges that tug more at Washington's emotional spectrum.
Now, I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life. Me and your mama worked that out between us, and liking your black ass wasn't part of the bargain.
In his portrayal of Troy, he injects humanity into a man whose life has left him with a bitterness that has him ordaining those around him, giving unsolicited wisdom and passing forward the pain of having an unfulfilled life.
I just come by to ask you for $10. I don't want to hear all that about how I live.
Boy, your mama did a hell of a job raising you.
Both my eyes was full shut. I thought I was blind. I couldn't see nothing. I just laid there and cried.
Life circumstances have left him with very little hope, and when he delivers his lines, there's a sense of regret in every word.
Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you.
His manners and behaviors have grown callous into his old age, but he believes he's too far gone to change who he is. It's only when he crosses a moral line where we see and hear remnants of real remorse in his voice.
I'm gonna be your daddy. Yeah, I'm gonna be somebody's daddy.
Denzel draws you into the lives of characters who have questionable morals. As you acknowledge their humanity, you start to question your own sense of right and wrong, their actions often leaving you reflecting on your own sense of judgment. In the ending monologue of Flight, an investigation exposes Pilot Whitaker as an alcoholic. He can no longer deny his reckless decisions.
Because I drank the vodka.
He initially struggles to hold it together, but as the pressure mounts, we witness him gradually unravel.
Because I'm an alcoholic.
While Denzel is a master of playing a reserved hero and a morally great protagonist, we rarely see him in the role of an alt-right villain. In the case of Detective Alonzo Harris, he is devoid of any real endearing qualities and is completely morally bankrupt.
You want to go to jail, you want to go home. You want to go to jail, you want to go home was not written. I just put that in there. Almost that whole last scene when I'm screaming at everybody, I made it up.
Opposite him in the movie is rookie cop Jake, who arrives at a diner to meet Alonzo. The detective is well seasoned and composed. He seems more preoccupied with his paper than with acknowledging Jake.
That's why I read it, because it entertains me. You won't let me read it.
Well, there was a DUI stop.
A DUI stop.
He allows the rookie to ramble, then he finally shifts his full attention, but only because, in his mind, he's found someone who is easily malleable for his needs.
Okay, all right.
This dynamic plays out in the movie's plot, leading to arguably Denzel's most iconic line.
I'm the police! I run shit here! You just live here!
We see the usually cool and reserved Alonzo turn to a maniacal and desperate version of himself due to circumstances that he can't out-manipulate.
Give me the money, Jake. Give me the money, please, Jake. Give me that money! Oh, son of a bitch!
The point being that when Denzel speaks, every ear is attuned, every gaze fixed, and every consciousness overtaken as we watch a master of his craft perform.
Oh, what a day.
He cemented his place as arguably the greatest actor of his generation, and if this movie is truly drawing closer to its end, we can rest assured that his legacy has long been well cemented.